Welcome to Environmental Intelligence, episode 59 for July 20th, 2026. Your Environmental Intelligence Briefing. New week, here's what's changed across Canadian environmental jurisdictions. LNG Canada acid gas incinerator failures in Kitimat trigger extended BC EMA compliance reviews. LNG Canada's repeated acid gas incinerator malfunctions at the Kitimat terminal raise direct questions under BC environmental management requirements for major projects. BC communities are simultaneously examining data center siting rules that intersect with energy and water infrastructure approvals. Practitioners should review current LNG facility permits and monitor municipal data center proposals this week for emerging assessment triggers. If you only note one thing today for your compliance calendar, review permit conditions for similar Kitimat area facilities under the BC Environmental Management Act, with ongoing operational reporting cycles. LNG Canada's acid gas incinerator at the Kitimat terminal has repeatedly malfunctioned, rendering the unit unusable for months at a time. The incinerator is a key control device for protecting local air quality and human health from acid gas releases associated with the LNG export facility. Under the BC Environmental Management Act, major project permits require reliable operation of pollution control equipment. Extended downtime raises questions about whether the facility remains in compliance with its authorization conditions. Consultants managing air quality monitoring or permit renewals at comparable coastal LNG sites should verify whether their clients' systems have similar uptime shortfalls. Next steps include checking the most recent permit inspection reports and preparing for potential ministry requests for corrective action plans. The facility's primary acid gas control unit has been out of service for extended periods, directly affecting compliance with the Environmental Management Act authorization for the Kitimat LNG terminal. Operators must demonstrate continuous effective operation of permitted control equipment. Repeated failures create exposure to enforcement or permit amendment requirements. Communities from Terrace to Kamloops are developing local rules for proposed AI data centers. These local rules intersect with existing provincial energy and water use permitting processes already in place. The Tyee reports that project proponents need to monitor the situation closely in affected areas. Emerging municipal bylaws could introduce additional environmental assessment layers during future application reviews. Data center proposals in these BC communities therefore carry new layers of regulatory complexity around infrastructure siting. Proponents should examine how the new rules align with provincial permitting timelines for energy and water resources. Extended downtime of the acid gas incinerator at the Kitimat LNG terminal directly affects operational compliance and may require additional monitoring or engineering upgrades. Remediation and air quality consultants working on coastal LNG projects should confirm whether similar control systems have comparable reliability issues before the next reporting cycle. If you're working on permitted industrial facilities in British Columbia, review LNG Canada permit conditions and inspection history for implications on similar coastal LNG projects. If you're working on mountain watershed assessments in British Columbia, update site-specific flood risk protocols to incorporate glacial lake outburst scenarios. If you're working on energy or water infrastructure in British Columbia, monitor municipal data center proposals for new environmental assessment triggers. If you're working on permitted industrial facilities in British Columbia, brief clients on uptime requirements for pollution control equipment. Mark your calendar for ongoing BC EMA compliance reporting for major industrial authorizations. Mark your calendar for ongoing municipal review of data center proposals in Terrace, Kamloops, and other BC communities. Mark your calendar for ongoing regional district flood warnings and access restrictions for Place Creek and Gates Lake channels. A phase wine desktop review for a proposed linear project near Pemberton flags Place Creek and Gates Lake as potential receptors. The client's preliminary flood mapping stops at the 200-year event and omits glacial lake outburst scenarios. BC guidance under the Environmental Management Act requires practitioners to consider credible extreme events when receptors include fish-bearing streams or community water intakes. The Squamish-Lillooet Regional District has already issued public warnings for fast-moving water and debris from the Place Glacier Lake. The experienced assessor recognizes that standard IDF curves and steady-state hydraulic models understate peak discharge and sediment load when a moraine-dammed lake drains rapidly. Field indicators such as trim lines on valley walls, lichen-free boulders, and recent channel avulsions provide stronger signals than modeled return periods alone. The most common mistake is treating the glacial lake as a static feature and simply extending the 200-year floodplain. The fix is to add a scenario-based outburst volume to the hydraulic model and reevaluate receptor exposure before submitting the final report. In the next briefing, watch for further updates on BC industrial permitting under the Environmental Management Act. That covers today's environmental intelligence. If you found this useful, share it with a colleague who needs to stay current. We'll be back with the next briefing, and if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at NARA Network. Links in the show notes. One more thing, if you like today's episode, our sister show, Models and Agents for Beginners, is worth a spot in your feed. Artificial intelligence explained simply for beginners and curious teens. It's one of the NARA Network's daily briefings, all free at naranetwork.com. New to the network, naranetwork.com/start-here picks the right daily briefing for you in about 2 minutes. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.